Hello and welcome to the Pup Mommy. This is a channel where I share my practical hands-on experience of everything that I've learned in owning, loving, and caring for dogs for close to 35 years. Multiple breeds, large and small, puppies to seniors. Now in today's video, I'm going to be giving you my take on a story that's been making the rounds online. And that's the fate of Gene Hackman and Ann Arakawa's two surviving dogs, Bear and Nikita. Now, both of these dogs are large dogs. Bear is a German Shepherd and Nikita is a German Shepherd Akita mix. And after their owners passed away, the man caring for them at his doggy daycare facility made the difficult decision to rehome them, but rehome them separately. And a link to the story is in the description section. Now, one of the things I noticed is that a lot of people who commented on this article were very upset, saying that the dogs should have stayed together because they'd been through so much together. And truly, I get it. Emotionally, that seems like the right thing to do. But I will tell you that as a longtime multi-dog owner, I want to say and try to explain why, just in my opinion, just because dogs live together doesn't necessarily mean they're bonded together. They're bonded for life. They're bonded emotionally. You know, in my nearly 35 years of owning dogs, I have owned pairs, I've owned trios, I've owned 4 dogs, I've owned even 5 dogs at one time. And I will say this honestly, out of all of them, probably only 2 of them were what I would say really were truly bonded. And those were my 2 German Shepherds, Zarina and Olympia. I called them my Empress and my Goddess. They were born 5 months apart, and they were raised together from the time that Olympia was 10 weeks old. And they were raised, and they were absolutely inseparable for over 12 years. And when Zarina passed away in 2020, Olympia followed just 2 months later. You know, you really could see the bond between them. You could feel it in them. It was how they played together, how they were always together, how they basically comforted each other, moved together, slept next to each other. Zarina always had to be in Olympia's eyesight. But that kind of bond, now that really, really is rare. Most dogs live in the same household and they can coexist peacefully. There are some exceptions, yes, but most of them, if the temperaments complement each other, it can work, they can get along, but that doesn't, again, mean that they are emotionally bonded. In a multi-dog home, there's also usually a hierarchy. Some dogs are more bonded even to humans than they are to each other. And a case in point is my Boston Terrier Poco and my mom. Now, Poco absolutely adored my mother. She waited by her door every single morning. She got the last goodnight kiss. And when my mom passed away, it was 1 month to the day that Poco started suffering cluster seizures. We later discovered through MRIs that she had meningoencephalitis, which is inflammatory brain disease. 4 months later, after my mother passed, Poco went to heaven and joined Mom. So let's get back, though, to Bear and Nikita. They just lost their people. The man rehoming them wasn't necessarily a stranger to them, okay? He owned a daycare center, and it was a daycare facility that the dogs probably frequented. So he was familiar with them, he knew them, and he likely knew their temperaments as well. So maybe they didn't necessarily play together as much. Maybe they competed for attention. Maybe they had different energy levels. Or maybe, just maybe, this man knew that the dogs would thrive better if they were in separate homes, where they could deeply bond with their own humans rather than rely on each other. And also, let's be honest here, rehoming 2 large dogs isn't exactly the easiest, okay? You've got to have the right space, you've got to have the right people, and most of all, too, you got to have the right budget. So with my current crew, my Boston Allegra, she absolutely adores my German Shepherd Nabucco. But I'll say this, if something happened to me, I believe that if they were adopted separately, they could still have happy lives. The same with my other Boston Thumper, the same with my Ophelia. But as a multi-dog owner, I will say, you feel the difference between dogs who are attached at the hip and dogs who just happen to pal around and share a household. But there's also a bigger issue that this story highlights. And it's this: don't leave your dog's future to chance. So many people say, something happened to me, oh, my sister will take care of him, my best friend promised. But you know what? When the time comes, life happens. Plans change. People move. Life gets complicated. And that's why I set up a pet trust in my estate plan, so that every dog of mine will have funding, will have instructions for their care, will have a clear future ahead of them. Okay, so basically what I'm doing is I'm controlling my dog's future from the grave. All right, but anyway, you can do that too if you want. It's one of the greatest gifts I think that you can give your dog. Love them when they're alive, yes. Love them more after you're not there anymore. So let's give Bear and Nikita the benefit of the doubt, and more importantly, thank you to the man who stepped up to care for them, and also to ensure that they have the best future possible by making the best decision he could on their behalf. Remember again, not all dogs are bonded, but all dogs need and deserve to be safe, to be loved, and to be understood. So thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. I hope you found this helpful. And if you want to know more about estate planning for your pets or how I set up my pet trust, if you need breed advice, or even, if you're thinking of adding another dog to your home, what is it like to live with multiple dogs? My contact information is in the description section. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you again for watching. I really do appreciate it. And remember, your dogs count on you. So make sure you are prepared. And with that, I'll say thank you and bye for now.